The morning after Ryan left me, I woke up feeling empty. The pain was still there. The betrayal still hurt. But something inside me had changed. For 2 years, I had hidden who I was. For 2 years, I had pretended to be ordinary. And for what? To be abandoned by a man who valued money more than love. As I stood in front of the mirror, I barely recognized the woman staring back at me. She looked tired, heartbroken, defeated, but she also looked angry. Not the kind of anger that destroys people, the kind that pushes them to become stronger. Ryan thought he had won. He thought he had upgraded his life. He had no idea what was coming. Later that afternoon, my phone rang. The caller ID displayed a familiar name, Mr. Anderson, my grandfather's former attorney, one of the few people who knew my secret. "Miss Carter," he said, "the board meeting is tomorrow." I closed my eyes. I had been avoiding that responsibility for years. Ever since my grandfather passed away, the company had been managed by executives while I remained in the background. But now things were different. Maybe it was time to stop hiding. Maybe it was time to finally step into the life that belonged to me. "I'll be there," I replied. The next morning I opened a wardrobe I hadn't touched in years. Inside hung designer suits, luxury handbags, and shoes worth more than most people's monthly salaries. I had never cared about those things, but today wasn't about fashion. It was about reclaiming my identity. I carefully chose a navy blue business suit, styled my hair, applied light makeup. Then I looked in the mirror. The broken woman Ryan had abandoned was gone. In her place stood the billionaire heiress he never bothered to know. My black luxury car stopped in front of Carter Global Industries, a 60-story skyscraper dominating the city skyline. Thousands of employees worked there, and every single one of them technically worked for me. As I stepped out of the car, security guards immediately straightened their posture. Executives rushed to greet me. Employees whispered among themselves. Many had never seen me before. They only knew rumors, the mysterious owner, the billionaire heir, the woman nobody ever saw. Today, that mystery was over. The boardroom was silent when I entered. 12 executives immediately stood. Their respect wasn't because of my wealth, it was because they knew the sacrifices my grandfather had made to build this empire. They knew I carried his legacy. As I sat at the head of the table, the chairman smiled. "Welcome home, Miss Carter." For the first time in years, I felt like I truly belonged somewhere. Halfway through the meeting, the doors opened. Ryan walked inside. He wasn't supposed to be there, but he had been invited to present a project proposal. He entered confidently, smiling, looking proud of himself. Then his eyes landed on me. The smile vanished instantly. His entire body froze. For several seconds he couldn't even speak. His face turned pale. He looked as if he had seen a ghost. The chairman noticed Ryan's confusion. "Mr. Ryan," he said, "allow me to introduce our owner and CEO." The room erupted into applause. Ryan stared at me, his mouth slightly open, his eyes filled with disbelief. I could practically see the memories racing through his mind. The tiny apartment, the simple clothes, the cheap car. Every assumption he had ever made about me was collapsing. Suddenly, everything made sense to him. The confidence I always carried, the connections I seemed to have, the opportunities that somehow appeared around me. The things he had ignored, he finally understood. The woman he left for money was worth billions. News travels fast in the corporate world. Within hours, Sophia found out. She called Ryan repeatedly, desperate for answers, desperate to know if the rumors were true. Unfortunately for her, they were. The woman she helped humiliate was one of the wealthiest women in the country. Over the next few weeks, Ryan's life started changing, not because I sought revenge, but because reality finally caught up with him. The promotion he expected never came. His project failed. Investors lost confidence, and for the first time, people saw him for who he truly was, a man driven by greed. One evening, Ryan appeared outside my office. He looked nervous, uncomfortable, nothing like the confident man who walked away from me weeks earlier. "Can we talk?" he asked. I nodded, curious, not hopeful. Ryan sat across from me, unable to maintain eye contact. Finally he spoke. "I made a mistake." I almost laughed. "A mistake? Forgetting your keys is a mistake. Taking the wrong train is a mistake. Betraying someone who loves you isn't a mistake. It's a choice." And he had made his choice. "I didn't know," he whispered. "I didn't know who you were." I leaned forward. "Exactly." His eyes filled with regret. But regret changes nothing. It doesn't erase betrayal. It doesn't heal heartbreak. And it certainly doesn't rewind time. After Ryan left, I stood by my office window, looking down at the city lights. For the first time in weeks, I felt free, truly free. The chapter that had caused me so much pain was finally closing, but I had no idea another chapter was about to begin, because the next morning, a stranger would walk into my life, a man who would change everything, to be continued.